Hey there, so today we have another review. This is a beer from Founders. This is Backwoods Bastard. I've definitely obviously reviewed this before. I reviewed their Scotch Ale, Dirty Bastard, yeah. Um, this is their barrel aged virgin aged oak bourbon barrels, and it comes in 11%. And yeah, I thought I'd review this fresh batch. It is this year's batch from July, so what 4 months old, but obviously bourbon barrel aged beer. Um, I just had the really strange grandfather. So they make funky beers, or not funky literally in the sense of like Brett and all that acidity. Well, in that beer acidity. But I thought I'd review this guy. This is, in my opinion, one of the best beers they make. So let's think of this guy again. So it's been a while since I've had the beer. The beer comes in a really nice kind of medium brown color. Yeah, medium brown color. Not completely deep. Has a little bit of like brownish on the edge. Wonderful kind of like hard tan, light brown head to it. Wonderful carbonation. On the nose, it is bourbon forward, malt forward. Honestly, it just in general smells like a bourbon barrel aged barley wine. How you split the difference of a Scotch ale, blah blah, bourbon barrel aged. I mean, like it's malt forward beer that's bourbon barrel aged, right? Like without the roast, right? You get a little bit of fruity tones in here. I get dates, a little bit of dried figs, some sweet caramel, vanilla, hard, spicy bourbon character, or hard alcohol bourbon character. Well, not like harsh, but like it smells like alcohol, right? Or at least, sorry, the reminders of bourbons make you think of alcohol, right? So sweet, dried cherries, bread crust, toast, a little bit of this kind of more towards toast, rye bread, more towards pumpernickel. That's really nice. Yeah, bourbon relish, delicious. Smells great. Okay. Um, okay. This is a beer that is pretty good. No, sorry, very good. It's a very good beer. But it does split the difference of when you marry base beer and sorry, they're playing the new Harry Potter game, so it's like going crazy over there. But it is how to describe it. It sort of KBS what KBS does. Bourbon County is you can use the word platonic ideal or blah blah. When you marry barrel and beer into something that's magical, I guess that's my like platonic ideal. Just Bourbon County. There's obviously I've had like better, very few, better bourbon barrel stouts than that, but that is like just it. There's also beers that are just taste like you just splashed a bunch of Eagle Rare into an Imperial Stout, which I've done a video of. Here it is somewhere split between the middle. It is definitely sharp barrel aged character and the base beer. It is quite tasty, but right, like it's not like all the way right, and it sort of makes sense. They're shelfy. I never considered their barrel program to be one of the goats. The goats in my mind include, there are a few: Perennial, Fremont, Goose Island. Toppling Goliath. There's some others. But you guys post in comments below if I'm missing any. But those are some of the goats. Just like the ability to marriage, side project. There you go. The ability to marriage base beer and barrel is hard. It involves specifically, I think, time and also just making recipes that are meant for it. Obviously, this beer was meant to just be in 6-packs, and then now they put in 4-packs and barrel age it, right? So, speaking of beer, it comes off, yeah, Dirty Bastard forward. It is malty, toasty, rich, caramel, Maillard. Nutty, yeah, nutty. You get this really nice kind of like pecan walnut thing, like toasted desserty pie, and that's where the barrel comes in, right? Because that's where you're getting the vanilla, the sweetness, and then you get sharpness of the bourbon comes in. You get a little bit spicy from the alcohol, spice from the barrel. Get some alcohol, a little bit of sharpness. The barrel detracts from the sweetness and pulls an alcohol that helps actually dry out the beer along with the tannins, so the beer ends up not as sweet as you'd like, right? When we think about these bourbon barrel aged beers, about integration, sweetness, quaffability, you know, is desired, but I think there's other elements that can make it, including the alcohol and the tannins, versus, or sorry, the bourbon character and the tannins, versus here it's like sharpness of barrel, right? Like ideally, you don't want to think of it as a bourbon barrel aged beer. It should be integrated as a product into it. And here you're sort of in the middle of like the perfect and the worst. So, you know. Does it elevate the Backwoods Bastard? That's one of the best questions about these beers. It's like, what's the point? Honestly, I don't think it does. Honestly, don't think it does. I think this beer actually pulls too sharp on that character of too much bourbon. Yeah. It tastes too much like you just pulled a shot of bourbon into your beer. And you can try it personally. Like you find a delicious beer that you enjoy. It's like, what would this taste like bourbon barrel aged, right? And you're not going to like it. It's not going to taste like Bourbon County. It's not going to taste like your favorite bourbon barrel aged stout because it takes time, barrel, microoxidation, what, you know, these things that are magical. I mean, they're scientific and I mean they're magical in the sense of what the flavor comes out, but there's a reason they do it that way. This tastes a little too sharply like you just got Dirty Bastard and poured a little bourbon in it. And man, I can buy some decent bourbon at like $20, or you know, I could buy some decent bourbon at $25, $30 and just put a splash in there, and that's like what, 50 cents, right? Like, what does it matter? And you can get the same kind of product, I bet. And that's the problem with these kind of products. Is it tasty? Yeah, for sure. But there's an integration and melding of the base beer that I can see, because that's what bourbon can do. It's charred oak and has that kind of like vanilla tone that is just going to smooth everything around. But there's a sharpness of bourbon and oak that's like scraping at the palate that really makes a beer somewhat uninviting. Ideally, you made Dirty Bastard better, but I don't think you did here. You just really made it like oaky, tannic. Like I taste that. Like my palate's actually very attuned to it right now, and it's almost sour in how oaky it is. Tannic, sour, oaky, alcoholish, and bourbony, right? And it sort of like detracts from the beautiful like malt driven beer that can be Dirty Bastard, that, you know, rides all kinds of styles between Doppelbock and Scotch Ale and whatever, Old Ale and all kinds of malty beers, right? I thought I enjoyed this beer a little bit more, but I'm surprised I don't. So it is what it is. Mm-hmm. Again, that's what the Cicerone thing does to you. Like you focus on all flavors and you just get distracted, and just now I drink more, just tastes like sucking on wood. And the beer is like completely demolished by that. And there's alcohol, so it's like wood and alcohol. Yeah. The beer is actually pretty good, but like I'm just like focusing on that in the moment of this review, right? Like if I was talking to you guys or no, I'm talking to you guys in the review, but if I was just having conversation and sipping at it at this volume, but I'm like enjoying the whole bottle, right? So if I just had like a flight style or like, you know, 6 or 8 ounce, I could just like, you know, talk to you and just like not think about it too much. And And actually, what comes through is a little bit this really nice kind of like buttery tone to it. A beer. I don't think it's that acid. It's just like the barrel complexity. But yeah, the edges of this beer are too sharp. It's too sharp, and I wish it was more rounded. And ideally, that's what bourbon barrel aging does. It just makes a rounded thing so big in flavor. Versus you made this beer very big, but sharp in edges. Like if I could draw a shape right now, it'd go like this. Or sorry, a big shape would be like this. And then if I could draw a shape that goes like, spikes all around, like just spikes all around. That's what they've created. They had a really smaller beer that was a little bit more rounded, a little bit more circlish, like oh, let's call it an oval. And they expanded that oval, but now you've drawn spikes all over it, and that's what the flavors sort of go at. Flavor wise, rating wise, man, you focus on this beer. It's very oaky, very oaky. Ooh, definitely better than Cranfeller. Honestly, this has to be the lowest rating I've ever given this beer, and I feel like I reviewed it at least once or twice. At least once. 89. All right, let's go with 89, right? No, this beer's better than that. It's quality beer, yeah. All right. So I was trying to think of like relative reviews I did recently. Better than that. So 92, 92, solid rating. Backwoods Bastard 92. I honestly expected this to be a lot higher. I thought this would be better, something like the KBS or CBS that I reviewed. I do like those beers, but like maybe not as much. Sure, I don't know. Crazy world we live in with founders. It's just like they're so. I find them so sporadic and like what I like, what they don't like. Like, ugh. Hey man, you guys are lucky. I'm reviewed beers like Ball Cutter and Lizard of Cause. Yeah. Then again, I've had gems like oh man, that beer. Old Curmudgeon was their old ale, which is very delicious, and then Better Half is insane when I had that beer. Even the mango habanero beer that I had was actually pretty decent. But this batch, I would skip this batch of 2023 of Backwoods Bastard, despite the rating of a 93. Is hard, man. What do I like? Okay. 92 is a good rating. Vanilla. As I wait more, as it warms up, vanilla is very forward. So the bourbon characters really push out this really nice sweetness, which helps cut that tannic sour edge I was getting from the bourbon. I didn't have this beer too cold, but as you wait and you develop your palate and like enjoy the beer, like that's one of the cool things about bourbon barrel aged beer. You can really find interesting notes. The vanilla is really nicely tucked in here and now, like really strong forward kind of French vanilla ice cream note that you come in. 92 is a really strong rating, but a divisive beer. Not my favorite batch, but again, palate shift, all that cool stuff, and the night is the night. So let me know what you guys think. Fun beer. Cheers later.